Hey everyone, this is Austin. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a lighter format video. I have a big show coming up in the weekend, so this is going to be a quick tutorial showing you how I would handle a marker sketch for a Group B Honda E car. This is a side project I've been working on that's just been a fun way to sketch some interesting car modifications and practice some of the sketch techniques that I haven't used in a while. Here you can see that I'm using a Prismacolor Verithin pencil, lightly sketching in some of the construction lines that this vehicle is going to have, and just keeping things very, very light and loose and quick, not stopping on any part of the paper for too long. I already have a rough idea of what I'm going to do here and develop. Taking a lot of inspiration from Audi Quattro rally cars from the 80s, which were just beasts, incredibly fast, driving through dirt and gravel and crazy terrain. And I thought that'd be really cool to incorporate, a little bit of that really dramatic flair into this particular vehicle, but still keeping some of the friendliness of the Honda E. Just feel like the contrast of these two vehicles combining is a really crazy look. I'm going to be using these ad markers, which are really, really powerful smelling. You don't want to smell these for too long. Get pretty high if you do that. But they're just amazing. This is just regular printer paper. I'm going to lightly start to darken some of these areas that I want to call out. Things like shadows around the tires, as well as some of the material breaks. And then I'm going to make sure that the corner that is facing the viewer is really the focal point. So really starting to darken in kind of that front fender that's there, as well as the front corner or the A-pillar of the window. Get some of the shadow line in here. This will start to just really define elements and define some of the material breakups. Now I'm going in with a warm 7. I feel like these markers were starting to dry up a little bit. There's kind of varying shades that you'll see throughout the video, but it gets the point across. I'm starting to darken in some of these areas that are close to that focal point, as well as areas that are facing the ground. So they're going to be in darkness a little bit more. This is a warm 5, I believe, which looks a little bit darker than the 7. So that leads me to believe that they're really drying out. But I'm going to start to define the horizon line in the window as well as the body side. Start to give a little bit more definition to some of the surfaces that aren't going to be in shadow quite as much. So you'll see the reflection in the hood there. Getting some of those elements wrapping around like that spoiler. And just being really quick and loose with this. You're wanting to just indicate some of these surface changes. Really, really quick. This is a warm 3 now, so starting to define those elements that are just barely going to be facing the ground or cast in shadow. And now I'm going to start going over some of those really dark spots again. Again, really trying to define that focal area as well as the things that are facing the ground. As we move further away, developing out that really strange looking spoiler. I'm getting lighter and quicker with it. These are Copic markers, toner Copics. I wanted a different shade in here for some of these other different materials. Now I'm going in with a 7, starting to define some of those areas. Yet again, same technique, just horizon line, things that are facing the ground, things that are going to be cast in shadow, and then fading that out with a 5 and a 3 toner. I thought it'd be cool to define these fenders in a different material. Maybe there's a cool story there. I don't know if they're lighter weight, they're easier to replace, something like that. But incorporating a vent in them so that maybe the airflow of the brakes can pass through there and cool the brakes off a little bit more. Really lightly adding shadow to the tires and the wheels and now underneath the vehicle. Again, keeping it really dark through that focal area and then fading it out with a 3 or a 5. Now I'm going to really loosely indicate some of these spokes. I will say, once I got done with the sketch, I looked at it and felt like these rims were way too large and way too maybe supercar-esque and intricate for this particular vehicle. I'm going to go in and start to define, you know, the spokes in the back rim as well as the B pillar in there. Just starting to get a few more details in here. So I'm looking at adding with a big crystal material breakups and lines and details that I want to call out a little bit more. Still being really quick, but maybe a little bit more precise with this tool. Shading in some of those places that I want a little bit darker, and some of those character lines that I want to call out a little bit more. Adding some headlamps. You can always use more headlamps in a Group B rally car. Some vents towards the top, cool off the batteries. And then little details in those vents and material changes. And now I can start to define with those door cuts a little bit of a surface change. Little window detail. More cross sections always help, and little bolt indicators that show that these are added modifications to that Honda E. I'm really just having fun. This isn't the most realistic sketch, but anyway, I hope you like that. I hope it was beneficial for you or you learned something. Let me know what you thought of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.